This is Ohio Richlands by Julian F modding. It's 210.31 megabytes to download. The description there is a little bit long, so feel free to pause it and read it as I scroll down. It's not really a huge amount to tell you from that. It's mainly sort of a description of the area, kind of what's going on, about it being taken originally from satellite images, etc. But you can read it there if you want to, or obviously on the Mod Hub website. But anyway, let's go and check it out, guys. And here we are. This is where you start off in all three modes by this lovely little pond, like so. This is the map, people. Now, I think this is Julian F modding's first attempt at a map. We've had some pretty cool mods off of him over the years, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is his first go at a map, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed. It's pretty cool. It's got some nice features, some great attention to detail on here, which hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of that. There's probably lots more to be discovered on this map. I think it's going to be one of those, the more you play it and venture around the map, you're going to find different sort of quirky things and go, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, I didn't notice that before. It's going to be one of them, I think, which is nice. Anyway, I'm in new farmer mode. So like I say, we are down here by this pond. And in new farmer mode, we start off with these 4 plots of land. So this is a field. It's got wheat in it by the look of it. That has got a value of 289 grand just over. We've got another wheat field that's kind of surrounding our main farm. That's got a value of just over 250 grand. And the main farm area, we've got a few sheds there, which we'll obviously see in a second, is just over 205 grand. And then we've got a grass field over here, which is just over 27,500. So if I click on grass, as you can see, there you go. Click that black off. As you can see, pretty varying size fields and shapes as well. And the prices of land, I will say land because there is all the other farms. I think it says 10 in total. Obviously our main farm is going to be classed as one of those. Some of them are a little bit steep, but I think it's sort of been done like that to kind of keep it a bit realistic. And to be fair, a lot of the farms that you are buying, or if you do buy, you are getting a lot of silos. So there's a lot of flat bottom bins. A lot of them do have these solid fertilizer tanks that you can fill up. You've got fuel tanks on some of them, animal pens, which I'll talk about in a second. So yeah, a little bit pricey, but field prices we'll talk about first. So I think plot 11 is the most expensive, 1.9 million just over, and I'm pretty sure 32 was the cheapest, just over 71. Now obviously there is other little grass fields like this guy which are going to be cheaper, but that's just an example. In terms of forestry, it does say 2 plots of forestry, but I'm counting technically 3 because you've got this plot up here. Now this is going to be the first example of one of the farms. This does have a shed up here and a couple of these flat bottom bins. Now brace yourself. Obviously a few trees as well. 957 grand for that. So that is what I mean by the other farm plots. They are a little bit pricey. That's one of the cheaper ones. This plot here is kind of split half and half. We've got a field one side and then some trees this side, so you could clear all those trees and make that field bigger. That is 487 grand. And then we've got an actual sort of dedicated forestry area, which isn't huge. It's just over 57 grand. So some of the other farms, in fact I'll probably show you all of them actually, the prices. This is the cow farm, so you're getting a cow barn, which is a custom one by the way, pretty cool. You do have a few sheds on here as well, some quirky sheds as well. There's also a sell point that comes as part of that plot. Now it is a nice big area, but 4.1 million for that, so very pricey indeed. This plot over here, which you just saw, it's got a lot of silos on there and a shed, 762. This is the sort of horse barn area, 287 grand. This one here's got a fuel tank, just a couple of sheds, that's about it really, 360 grand. I think that's a sell point, isn't it? You can't buy that. Where else? This fella, this has got a silo, a couple of sheds and a fuel tank. 658. Across the road we do have chickens, silo, sheds. 261. And then there's a few more silos, etc. here. 1.7 million. And then almost next door to us we've got a load of silos, one of those tanks, fuel tanks. 1.1 million. I think that is probably all of them. So yeah, a little bit pricey, a little bit up there, but we'll be checking them out as we go round. I'll talk about them a little bit better as well. There is quite a few plots that you cannot buy. Basically, rule of thumb now since that update, if it hasn't got a number inside the plot, you cannot buy it. So all these plots I'm clicking on, this forestry area, I'm clicking on, nothing, even that little one there, that there as you saw, and up here, cannot buy. So you may have trouble placing a couple of things down, which leads me on to, actually, I should have said earlier, there is no sleep triggers on here at all. So it's not a case of buying up these sort of farm plots, because most of them do have a farmhouse on there, but it's just decorative, including our farm, which we'll see in a second, but no sleep triggers. So some of them you may have trouble, because this plot here, like I said, there's a couple of sheds here and a fuel tank, and I think there's even a pressure washer up here somewhere. But across the road there's a really cool farm which I really like. That'd be a fantastic starting point, especially a bit of role playing. Cannot buy it, so you won't be able to stick a sleep trigger down, which is a bit annoying. So there you go. Right, cracking on. There is no collectibles. It does say that in the description. You don't start off with any production chains. In fact, there's none on this map anyway, so you'll have to place them down. There is contracts on the fields you don't own. Some of them are pretty good paying out because they're pretty good fields. We do start off with some animals, even though we don't own the land, which is good. So you can use all the animal pens without owning them. So we've got a couple of chickens, 10 to be precise. Well, 9 and 1 rooster, varying ages. We've got 1 brown Swiss cow, 79 Holsteins, so it's not too bad, 80 cows, and 2 horses, Molly and Ranger. Happy days. Vehicles do start off with a decent amount of equipment, actually. There's no custom crops, and the crop calendar is base game. It does say that in the description as well. So I think that is all that we need to talk about. Whilst we're by this pond, I'll just quickly mention, it does say on the description that there is, it says something like there's various or numerous ditches and ponds on the map, but please be aware something about there is no field triggers or something like that. But I tested 2 water areas like this, one down by the shop, which I'll show you, which is like the smallest bit of water you've ever seen, and I was no way expecting it to work, but it did work. I filled up a trailer from it, and I tried another one a bit further up from there, so it will work. But anyway, I'm going to be naughty and skip up to the farm. I'll go that way first, I think. So we'll start off out on the main road, but I just love all the feel of it. This road that runs through, it feels quite sort of rural out here. Reminds me of sort of some of the American shows, TV shows and films you see where it's just, oh yeah, wow, I do really like this map. It's pretty cool. But anyway, this is our farm right in front of us. So there you can see the farmhouse, no sleep trigger. We'll come to that in a second. Straight away, I love this. Got to drive up this mound to get to this shed, which obviously does open. Got some of our equipment in here. I'll go for all that in a second. You'll probably see it before we talk about it. And then because we've gone up like that, round the back, we've got a little bit of storage underneath. Got a truck and trailer there. We do have a shed here. Now there is lights on this one. A lot of them don't have lights, but I couldn't find any light switch, so that possibly could be automatic, comes on at night. But a lot of our equipment in there. And we've got a John Deere. That is just decorative, that building. And I just love all the little fences. Look, that fence leaning up against the thing. Farmhouse, there's our pickup with the American flag out the front. Absolutely. Can't go in this garage or in the farmhouse, so it is decorative. But just little things like this, look, quirky little things. Even that fenced off corner. So obviously you could put down a sleep trigger here, that wouldn't be a problem at all. I'll try and point out the areas that I'm talking about. But let's go through slot counts. Now it is the same across all 3 modes, because you do start off with exactly the same equipment, and obviously it is all up here in the same spots. But the difference being, farm manager and start from scratch, you don't start off owning any of the land. So we will cover that as we go as well. Right, let's grab the pickup. Oh no, we haven't talked about slot counts, have we? I'm getting carried away. Slot count is 1017. Like I say, that is exactly the same across all 3 modes, because you do start off with all this. Decent amount of equipment, to be honest with you. So we've got a small tractor, which is the Massey Ferguson 3707AL. John Deere 4755. Got the Mack Superliner truck. The T560 John Deere harvester. New Holland skid steer. The Lizard 86 pickup. Low King trailer, header for your harvester, a Daigelman stone picker, disc harrow, seeder, a planter, a sprayer, the little Massey Ferguson baler, quickie front loader, that's going to be for your Massey because it's a smaller one, with a attachment, the fork with grapple, got a pallet fork for your skid steer, trailer for your header, a John Deere weight, 1.8 tons, 1800 kilogram, and the Bachmann trailer. So there you go. Now if you do want to sell off all of that equipment, you can get the slot count down to 843. Now there is obviously potential to get the slot count down a lot further, because the other farms have got silos and things like that on there, so if you sell them off, it will reduce the slot count. There's a little bit of a warning to go with that, which I will talk about when we get to the first farm. Mods, we will talk about them. I'm trying to get carried away. It feels like I haven't done a map tour for ages, but it's not been that long. There's not a huge amount of mods in silos. If we go right to the end, we've got a few silos that have been modded in. Now I can't really see the difference of this guy. The capacity is the same and the price is the same. This is definitely different, which you'll see in a second. So that is the NL1622 6000. If I go back to the base game one of those, which is that, you can see it's completely different to this one. And then these flat bottom bins are a lot smaller. They almost look like they've sunk into the ground, but they're pretty cool. And I'm not quite sure if the bunker silo's slightly different, but there you go. So we've got those modded in. Then we have in containers, at the end we've got a large petrol tank and the solid fertilizer tank. Again, I can't quite see any difference, not in capacities. It could just be they've modded into the map, which happens sometimes. In tools, again, got a Karcher pressure washer modded in, but that isn't going to be any different. I wouldn't have thought. It's not going to do anything special. I didn't want to do that. And looking at my list, we've got animals and cows. We've got this cow barn, which we'll see later as we go. Now that is it there. There is no fence around it, so if you place this down, you're probably have to gonna put a fence round, but it could be tricky knowing where they roam, and you'll see what I mean when we get down there, because it is quite a huge area they've got to roam around in, so they could be going out of your fence line if you're not careful. In horses, we've got this pasture. Again, there's no fence around it. If I go to the base game one, you can see that it has got a fence because it's been modded in. It's got a building around it and a fence, so we'll see that as we go. And exactly the same thing with the chicken pasture. So this is the base game one. You can see the green fence around it. This one has no fence because the fence has been modded in. So if you place these down, guys, you could find it a bit tricky finding out where they sort of roam to. But that is it for the mods, if we go to painting textures, it is pretty standard. We've got animal mud, asphalt, concrete, dirt, forest ground, grass, dry grass, gravel, rock and granite. And that is it, guys. Been through everything else, so let's get on with it. So we'll jump in our pickup. Hopefully not going to reverse into anyone, he says. Oh, that's one thing I have noticed on this map as well. That truck reminded me. There is kind of custom traffic roaming around. So there's vehicle models that I've not seen on other maps. Some of them will look a bit standard like that. But there's a lime green sports car that races round. There was a truck earlier with some round bells strapped down onto it. I thought it was amazing. As you can see, we get people walking around, which is cool. So this is kind of like our first farm we're going to visit. So there you go. At the front we do have a farmhouse. If I click on that, you will see that that plot will take in that farmhouse. So you should be able to place a sleep trigger down on that. This is that modded in silo. So up the ramp, just in there. Now, like I say, that's not multi-fruit, it is standard crop types. But most of the farms, if I go up into landscaping mode, do have quite a bit of room around them. Look, you've got some room around the back of the shed here, down this side. Even if you got rid of these two trees, you've got a little bit there for other sheds, things like that if you want to. We do have a large fuel tank. So these are all empty, but you can fill them up even though you don't own this land, so not too bad, and use them. And also we can open the doors on the sheds, which is pretty cool even though we don't own the land. One thing I forgot to mention down at our main farm, cannot sell off anything down at the starting farm and new farm mode, but you can sell off some of the other things on these plots of land. But this is where that warning comes into place, because we do not own this plot of land. But if I click on this silo, it does allow me to sell it. Same with the fuel tank, I've got the option to sell it. For some reason the sheds, if you click on the doors, they just come up with that, so you don't even if you own the land, you don't get an option to sell any of these sheds off. But if we were to sell that now, it will sell it, we will get the money, but that stays there, which is a bit annoying. Because now, if I just quickly add in a load of money so we can buy that plot of land, I'm going to show you where you could slip up if you're not careful. There we go. Right. Back up there, let's buy that. I've chose this plot because it is one of the actual cheapest ones. So we do own this plot of land now. Now if I go back to this fuel tank, it won't let me do anything now. So that's where I've messed up. So that is permanently there now. And now if I run up to the fill trigger, I cannot use that. So be careful. But now, oh, there's a pressure washer there, guys. Just to note, a lot of them do have that. If I go to this silo now and click on that and sell that, that disappears. So you do need to own the land if you want to sell something off. So you can sell it all off and then sell the land back if you wanted to clear a plot. It's up to you, but obviously if you're doing that, you might as well just keep the land. If you're trying to clear a plot of land, it's quite obvious that you want the plot of land. But now if I go to sell that, oh, it will let me do it. I didn't think it was going to let me do it earlier when I tried it. Some of the things that I messed up on selling like that, it wouldn't let me sell the plot back. Now you do need to be careful as well with selling some things, because there is one of those silos a bit further later on. If I remember to point out, I will. It's got the American flag stuck on top of it. If you sell the silo, it disappears, but the flag stays floating in the air. So just something else to point out. Now straight across is the chicken farm. Again, we've got a house on here, which is nice. I will stop about here, I think, and we'll carry on round. So a lot of this is all decorative, but it's pretty cool. I like it. We do have sheds, as you can see, open door there, and a couple of these little flat bottom bins, which are quite cute, to be honest with you. Quite like those. Again, decorative there, but I like all this. It brings the map to life. Just little things like that. It's nice. You can use this, but this building here is just decorative. I know some people won't like that, but it is what it is. Then we've got our chicken pasture, and I love little things like this. It's been all fenced off. Look, if we go to this side, it's been nicely fenced off. Look, tight up against the shed. We've come all the way round, fenced it all in. But then over here it kind of looks like we've run out of fence, so we've just stuck a pallet up the side. To be fair, they could probably still get through there. Now, this is another thing to note on some of the animal pens. You can, once you've sold the chickens off, you can sell this chicken coop. I'm not going to do this on every farm, guys, so don't panic. By clicking on that, at the minute it won't let us do that because there's animals in there, but you can sell it off. But all that will do is get rid of the trough and the trigger icons, obviously, if you've got them switched on. This fence still stays here, and you cannot delete this fence or sell it, or at least I couldn't, so just be careful again of that. Right, back out, let's get on with this. And if we go as if we're going back towards our farm and take a right here, we go, oh, there's someone walking in the road. We're going to visit another plot that we can use, a farm. I had very difficult trying to write my notes, because normally when you go to a point of interest, if it's a sell point or a production, I put down bakery, things like that. With this, I just had no idea what to call them, so I've got lots and lots of farms written down on my notes, so there you go. Right, again, farmhouse we've got there. We've got some open sheds. We've got another one of those big silos. So there we go, there it is. There's the flag up the top. If you were to sell that silo off, that flag will stay there, so we don't really want that, do we? We've got sheds again. I'm not going to open all of these up because they are, a lot of them, the same sort of size. This one is as well. But some of them are different and quirky. Pressure washer. We've got 2 fuel tanks here. And a couple of these solid fertilizer tanks, which obviously you can fill up yourself up to 60,000 litres. And then load up whenever you want. So that's not too bad an area as well. So where's our pickup? I would tab to it, but I think if I press left or right, I'm going to end up in another vehicle, aren't I? Let's quickly get our bearings. So obviously we started off at the main farm, came out into there where the silo is now not showing because obviously we've sold it. Chicken farm, we went down this track and we're going to go all the way down now. We're going to the shop, which is probably one of my most favourite areas and favourite shops of FS22, I think. I just think it's really cool. It really fits the map, the sort of theme and vibe that we've got going on. I mean, even driving through here, I'm not really annoyed by the trees that are overhanging because I just think it feels brilliant. With all the leaves on the ground. Let's turn left there, and it's got such a great distance texture to it as well. It just looks like the map goes on for miles. Really, really is good. The old barns here. We've got some houses, but again, these are going to be in plots that you can't buy. See, that truck to me looked like that was a different sort of stuff. Oh, is this the wagon with the bells on? Please be the wagon with the bells on. It is, look. How cool is that? I don't remember seeing a map with traffic like this on before. I just think it's brilliant. Right, let's stop there because we are now at the shop, and it's a custom building and shop. It's Hogs Equipment, John Deere dealership. Fantastic. Again, these are probably all eating into your slot count, but who cares? got John Deere's out the front, which you'd expect. Shop icon's just there. There's nothing around the back. You can't go in this building. But just all the sort of quirky little things. The mowers out the front, all the junk. Look, we've got John Deere wheels on the floor. We've got a tyre rack over here, containers. We've got a workshop just here, guys, so pull in here. And then we've got a John Deere, look, with its wheel off. And it looks like it's just being balanced on a bar stool. Which is, can we take that away? Ah, that would have been quite cool if that fell over. Oh well, cause havoc. We've got junk cars. Again, these look different models to what I've seen on maps before. I just think it's brilliant. And then across the road, look, we've got more equipment. Now this kind of gives me the feel that this is customers' pieces of equipment that are parked here ready to be serviced and things like that. We've got a John Deere, and these are all solid, so you've got no, you know, way of running through them. We've got augers, we've got stone pickers, we've got an old Alice Chalmers tractor. Look, we've got the logo on the front. I just think it's brilliant. Another John Deere over there, look, augers. This is your reset point over the other side of the shop, so if you reset, buy, lease, anything, it's going to appear over here, which is cool as well. I like that. Look at that beast. Pretty smart. And even just things like this sign, look, it's been bent. Someone's obviously reversed into that or drove into that. I just think it's brilliant. What a cool area. Cool shop. Could just be me being a bit over the top. This is the little bit of water that I was talking about. I filled up the trailer with that, which is madness. But anyway, moving on from there, after getting too excited over a shop, we have got the extortionate price cow farm, like so. So I'm going to stop about here because this is a big area, like I say. Now it's kind of, most of this side is like the base game cow barn. So you've got your milk point just there, and you can open all these doors as you would on the other one. Your dialogue box there will hold 140 cows this though, but it's showing we've got 80 in there. We've got kind of an open side now, which is nice. I like that. So you've got your feed and straw triggers in through here, and then round the back we've got our slurry pit. Now I couldn't see any manure pit or anything like that, so you probably will have to place one of those down if you want to. But obviously we've got cows in here. They will roam through in here. Look, there's one. Go into there, I think. But look at the area they have got. Most of them seem to sort of congregate around in this bit, but they can go all the way up and round and out up to here, which is pretty cool. I couldn't see a gate or anything to be able to come into this area, so I'm not 100% sure whether you can or not. It'd be pretty cool if you could. And then across from there we've got our first sell point, which is the farm shop sell point. Now this does say that it's for your sort of crop types and your production, so like pallets of bread and things like that. There is two triggers, so there's one over there and there's one back here. Now one normally would have like a grain or grate, wouldn't it, sorry, where you'd put your grains, but there isn't on here. I like this as well, this sign. All the products we offer were either produced on this dairy farm or are provided by surrounding farms from the area, which they definitely would be, wouldn't they, if you were playing on this map. If you're producing anything and you're bringing it to there to sell, it's from this area. It's easy to get carried away showing you things like that on this map, but there you go. So how big is this? We've got a bunker silo. And look at this for a quirky shed. Look at that. Yes, we can go in there and use it. How smart is that? The detail on here as well, the wood. Just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Moving on, we've got a little bit of junk as you'd expect on a farm. I'm going to stop there and run back because this shed is similar to the ones we've seen. I said I wouldn't go in them, but I have done. And then we've got this guy, which is pretty cool. Again, a lovely custom building with a couple of doors on. Very nice. And there's your house there as well. So that indeed would be in your zone if you wanted to. So there we go. Right, we're heading on down here. This is another cool area. Like I say, I hope this doesn't go on too long, and I hope you do stay to the end, but there's some pretty cool features on this map. This is another sale point we're coming to, and this is called Campground Restaurant. Ooh, hang on a sec. Yes, we can buy that plot. There is, I won't jump out, obviously a house there, bit of junk, and we've got a shed there and a pressure washer. That is it. So you can buy that plot like so if you wanted to. And again, plenty of room, look, to add more things, a silo or anything like that. So even if you do own one of these plots, I think you've got plenty of options to do things. But look at this sign here. Something different again. Look, we'll start over here. Ohio Public Campground even. Nature Park, ATV Park, off-road fun, mud, long run and much more. Accessible 24/7. Pretty cool. I'm not sure what that area is to our left, whether that's some sort of car park. If we drive into here, got a couple of tents on the right, which you would expect because we are going into a campground. And if we look at the sign, campers, please follow the road to reach the campground. So up through there, and then off-road fun to the left where we have just gone. But your sale point is just here for the restaurant sale point, as you can see. So this will take all your sort of production type things like that. We've got a cool bridge, and look at this, guys, we do actually have a track which you can go round. Look, it goes all through the sort of stream here, river. So you do have an actual off-road track that you can whiz round. It goes all around there. I drove the pickup round there earlier. It's quite amusing, although I did have quite a few crashes. But that is pretty smart. I like that. Something different. I know we've seen a couple of maps where they've had sort of tracks and trails and things like that. But how cool is that? Right. Heading on out of here. We do have one of the other farms over a little bridge there. Just on the left, this is the one with all the silos, so quite a few flat bottom bins. I wanted to burst into Flat Bottom Girls then by Queen for some reason. So we've got all of these. I think there's 6, isn't there? So again, like before, if you sell one of these off now, you will get the money for it, but it will remain. And then if you buy this land, you won't be able to remove that, so just be careful. 3 solid fertilizer tanks, and then this shed is actually open. I think that is it for this plot. There's no jet wash, no fuel tank, anything like that. So not too bad. We'll have a quick look at the map just to show you where we've been. So we went to the shop, cow farm, down here, into the campground. That was that little plot there, wasn't it, with the house I showed you. We're now here. We're going to carry on up like that and work our way along. But as always, I'd love to know your thoughts on this map if you're playing it. Just little things like this, look. It's one of these, oh, that's the edge of the map there, look, see? So look at that. It just, there's buildings over there and everything. These are really cool. Grain bag storage system. I saw one of those in real life on a cornfield. There was a load of corn in there when I went to a job, and then I went back about a month or 2 later, and it was all gone, and there was a couple of them sat in the field. Pretty impressive. Huge it was. Right, just up into here we've got another sale point, and this one is Butler's Ag, Ohio. Just in here. Pretty neat. Nice area as well. We've got bits of fence falling down. I mean, like I say, I'm not going to get carried away too much, but there's so many things you can... Oh, I do need to show you this. This is funny. This made me laugh. I missed that. Got this little area here, I'm not sure quite what it is, but look at this. Got a redneck weather station. It's just quite funny. So if the rock moves, it means wind, obviously. If the rock's wet, it's rain. If the rock's dry, there's no rain. If the rock is white, we have snow, unless someone sprayed it. The rock's down on the floor, we've had an earthquake, and if the rock's gone, someone's stolen it. I just thought that was brilliant. Anyway, moving on. That's what I mean about loads of little things like that you're probably going to miss, that you just need to keep your eye out for. It's going to be amazing. This is the horse barn. So again, custom thing, pretty cool with a big flag there. Nice building. The horses will go inside. Look, oh, they are. They're both in there as well. So dialogue boxes there. Will hold 5 horses. There's 2 in there. Water trigger and feed trigger. And they have got all of this here, and it goes up into this little area to roam around in. Now, this is an area, this house and that, which you cannot buy, so you wouldn't be able to use that as your house if you wanted to own this, which is a bit of a shame. Like I say, there is a little bit of a hayloft up there, but there's already some decorative bells up there, so I'm not quite sure how much you'd be able to squeeze up there. But cracking on from there, this is that farm I was talking about. Look, I absolutely love. It would be great for role playing, but you cannot buy that plot of land, which is a bit of a shame. But you can buy this plot of land, and again we can open all the doors like so, like that. Fuel tank again round the back, and as I said earlier, up round this corner we've got a pressure washer just there. Now my initial thought was to extend that and fill that in with the field, but obviously you cannot get rid of these, cannot sell the Karcher pressure washer even if you own the land, so pretty pointless. But we've got quite a bit of space there for other things, sheds, silos, so you can get yourself going, or maybe in a farmhouse considering we can't go across the road. But this is pretty neat over here. It's a proper sort of junkyard though. We've got lots of old scrap cars, farmhouse. And again, models that we haven't really seen in terms of scrap cars. This van, I just think it's pretty cool what they've done there. Brilliant. Right, again heading on out of here. I think we've got another sale point coming up, which again is nice. It's for selling your wood, and this is going to be a firewood neighbour sale point. It's literally just up in here. Again, nicely done, brilliant detail. Round the back is your trigger for selling wood. Now there's no sort of exclamation mark, so if you pull up here with a trailer full of logs, I'm guessing and hoping it's just going to sell as soon as you get into the trigger, because there's no exclamation mark. Right, we're kind of heading down towards where we started off. Our main farm's just over there in the distance, but we've got this guy again, and we've got a farmhouse, and I think we'll go around here. We've got more sheds like so. If I leave that like that, some open sheds, decorative things. This is a huge shed, this one. Can actually open that up and go through. We can go upstairs, a little bit of an office, probably store some pallets and things like that up there. It goes all around the back. Open the door up the front, and we've got a little sort of workshop, kitchen area, lounge area for your workers or whatever, like so. Some flat bottom bins, another solid fertilizer tank, and a fuel tank. We've got a nice quirky shed like so, and another big shed round the back like so. Now I had a little bit of a problem here because we have one of these fuel tanks, and there is a pressure washer right by that trigger. If I quickly turn on the help menu, if you watch, as soon as you get near that trigger, all you get up is the pressure washer. So I thought, oh, that's no good, is it? That's not not good. But if you kind of climb up a little bit, oh, like so, you can get that trigger. I know it's not ideal, but if you did own this plot of land, you could sell that fuel tank and move it if you wanted to. It will disappear, obviously, if you buy the land. Right, so we came out of there. I think that's where we last said, didn't we? Sell point, horses, into the sort of junk farm area. That was the wood sell point, just in there. Now we're going to head on up here, and that is it. We are going to finish off the tour. I do feel like it's going on a little bit, but there's so much to see. So out of here and up this track, a nice sort of entrance to that grass field. I like that. And we've got some bells over here and storage. They're obviously just decorative, and this is that half and half plot. So as you can see, I don't think there's any spruce trees in there, so it might be an idea just to attack them with the tree devourer and get some wood chips from it. This is that quite pricey plot of land that I showed you quite early on. So all we've got is that shed there, 3 of those little bins and a pressure washer, and obviously a little bit of forestry here, so a little bit pricey. But if we head on down through the trees, up over there is where we're going. And I probably will show you what I mean about the distance up this top end. Oh look, there's the sports car, look. And he's parked in there as well. So we got the Ohio Agri Co-op. And basically all we've got in here is 2 of the solid fertilizer tanks. And again, this is an area you cannot buy, which is a little bit of a shame, because we do have a bit of room up the back. It's not completely flat, but it's could easily be used. People walking around again. If we head on round this way, we've got a few more of these storage thingies, and then up into here, this is another sale point, and this is the Ohio Agri Co-op, which I've just read to you on that sign. So if we drive out here, we should get the cross for the edge of the map just there. So as you can see, look, there's a car coming down the road. That just seems to be going on for miles, doesn't it? I'm stuck now. You can see silos in the background, buildings. I just think it's pretty cool. But that is my opinion. So there you go, that is it. We've done the whole map. That is Ohio Richlands by Julian F modding. Please let me know your thoughts on it. Are you playing it? Do you like the look of it? Are you going to play it? Are you going to skip it? Is there anything I missed? Let me know. Love to read your comments. But I hope you have all enjoyed it, guys. Sorry if I've rambled on a little bit, but there's so much to see and take in, and I wanted to show you some of the quirky things and talk to you about some of the things I noticed when I was doing a little bit of testing. But if you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. That'd be fantastic. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.